the materials needed for the easy Airy Tee. I use Cottino yarn in the shade Wisteria, and look to the pattern for the yardage for your size. I also use a G 4.0 millimeter crochet hook, scissors, stitch markers, and a tapestry needle. The Easy Airy Tee is written for 9 sizes. Highlight your size throughout the pattern for ease of reading. The model is 5 foot 7 inches and wearing size medium with a 38-inch bust and 4 inches of positive ease. Make sure you block your work when checking gauge. I wet blocked it, allowed it to dry, and put it in the dryer for 10 minutes so the superwash fibers snapped back in place. When reading pattern, if a size is marked by a hyphen, that means do not read the instruction for your size. Tee is worked in panels, front and back, and the collar and sleeves are added in the round after it's seamed. Beginning double crochet chains count as a stitch, and this tutorial is best viewed with the written pattern up next to you, so you can get the free pattern right here. And if you want several picture aids to help you, you can get the premium PDF here. And of course, it is a Lion Brand Yarn kit, so you can get the kit right here. To begin, I'm going to make a slip knot. And then I'm going to do the specified number of chains in the pattern. My pattern says I need to do 87 for my size. So I'm going to do 87 chains off camera, and then I will show you how to work into the chains. I have my beginning chains here, so let me show you how to work row 1. It says we need to work into the 5th chain from our hook. So we don't count what's on our hook, and then we count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So working into that 5th chain, I'm going to do 2 double crochets into that 5th chain there. So I had already yarned over, if you saw that, so that I could do a double crochet. So again, yarn over going into that same chain, and I do a double crochet. So I have 2 double crochets into the same chain, and then I'm going to skip the next chain and work the next chain 2 double crochets. So yarn over, working this chain right here, 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. Again, skip 1 chain, working the next chain right here, 2 double crochets. So I'm going to continue this all the way across for all of my chain stitches here, and then let's meet back up at the end of row 1, and I'll show you how to finish the end of row 1 and then begin row 2. I reached the end of row 1 and I have 1 and 2 chains left in this row. So let me show you what we need to do. We skip the first chain, and then working into that last chain there, we double crochet just 1. And then make sure that you count your stitches to make sure you get the right stitch count. This, how we chained, or we began working in the 5th chain from our hook. You can see it right there. So this does count as a double crochet stitch. So it's 1 and then 2, 4, so 5, 7, 9, 11. And then at the end, this of course is just 1 double crochet. So I already counted my stitches. I know that I got the correct number of stitches. So I'm going to turn my work, and I already chained 1. So I'm ready to begin row 2. Single crochet in the first double crochet. So remember, this is a double crochet right here. So single crochet in that first double crochet, and then chain 1. You can see we have 1 double crochet and 1 double crochet, and it's the grouping all into the same chain there. So what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet between those 2 double crochets, and then chain 1. You can see our next 2 double crochets right here, and in between them I'm going to single crochet 1, chain 1, in between those two next double crochets, single crochet 1, chain 1. Here's our next group of double crochets, single crochet between them. So I'm going to do that all the way down, and then let's meet back up at the end of row 2, and I'll show you how to do the end of row 2 and the beginning of row 3. I've reached the end of row 2, so let's do this together. There's my last single crochet in between the two double crochets. And so I've done my last repeat, and now it says that when we get to our turning chain that we chain 1, and then we're going to single crochet into the top of the turning chain. So I'm just going to single crochet right here. So inserting my hook into that stitch, the top of the chains right there, I single crochet, and that completes row 2. Row 3, I turn and chain 3. I've already chained 3. And now it says we need to skip this first single crochet. So skip that one right here that we did into the top of the turning chain. And then this next one right here, we're going to place 2 double crochets into that single crochet stitch. So yarn over, going into that single crochet there, double crochet 1, double crochet 2 into that same stitch. You can see I did it into the same stitch there. Going into this next single crochet, double crochet 1, double crochet 2. Again, the next single crochet, double crochet 1, double crochet 2. So I'm going to do this all the way across for row 3. Let's meet back up at the end of row 3, and I'll show you how to end row 3, and then we'll talk about the repeat for this pattern. I'm nearing the end of row 3. I have 1, 2, 3 single crochets left, so I just wanted to do that with you. 2 double crochets into this third to last single crochet, and then 2 more in the next one. 1, 2. So now I only have 1 single crochet left right here, and I'm going to do just 1 double crochet in that last single crochet, and that completes row 3. The repeat for this back panel is repeat rows 2 and 3, and you're going to do it for the specified number in the pattern, and then we will meet back up for the back panel decreases. I have done my specified number of rows in the pattern, and now it asks me to place stitch markers from the right and the left for a specific size. So look to the pattern to figure out how many you need to count over for the stitches. The first shoulder I already completed it because it's pretty straightforward. You just work until the stitch marker and then you turn and leave the rest unworked. But I wanted to show the second shoulder what we need to do together. So I have my wrong side facing me. If you're not sure what your wrong side is, then my beginning tail is on the right. And then it says we need to slip stitch in that second stitch marker, the one that we haven't worked yet. So I'm just going to slip stitch to join. And now I need to do row 1, which begins by chaining 1, single crochet in the space between the next 2 double crochets. So right here, single crochet, need to tighten up that tail, there we go. Chain 1, and then repeat that across, single crocheting in the space between the 2 double crochet groups. So right here, and I'm going to work that all the way across until I reach the end of this row here. All right, one last double crochet group there. So I worked that space, and now I just need to single crochet in that turning chain, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to do our double crochet row. So I'm going to skip that first single crochet that I did and work 2 double crochets into this single crochet here. So this is the same pattern that we've worked throughout the entire pattern. Let me just show you what we do when we get to the end. There's nothing special, but we're just not going to work that slip stitch to join. So you can see I have 2 single crochets left before I have my marked stitch. So let's do that. Single crochet by placing 2 double crochets, and then our last 2 double crochets into that last single crochet. So you can see what this looks like. So we have our slip stitch to join right there in that marked stitch, and we're just leaving that unworked. So we're going to turn and do one last row for our back panel. Single crochet in that first one right here, chain 1, and then working the single crochets in the space between the double crochets. You do that all the way across. So I'm going to do the front panel off camera up until the specified number of rows in the size I'm working, because it is the same as the back panel. So let's meet back up for the next shaping of the front panel. I've done my 41 rows that I needed to, and I placed my stitch markers. I did it 36 stitches, double crochet stitches from the right and the left. And this is going to be our front neck, and then we're going to increase like that. One thing I forgot to mention is that for the back panel, these stitch markers that we have here, don't remove them yet, and same with these stitch markers, because we are going to be using those stitch markers to do decreases when we work our collar. So let's do row 1 and 2 together, just so that we can get a feel of how to do these decreases. It's very similar to what we did on the back panel, but let's just do it together. So we begin by chaining 1, and I forgot to say, so this is the wrong side that I'm looking at. All of the decreases are going to be on the wrong side because we're going to do it with the single crochets. And then also, if you are doing one of the larger sizes, you will be doing decreases on this side too to get the underarm shaping, so that we don't have extra fabric at the underarm. So just look to the pattern to know what you need to do for your size. So row 1, we will single crochet into that first stitch here like we've always been doing, chain 1, single crochet in that space in between the 2 double crochets. So nothing is different than what we've been doing this whole pattern. I'm just going to work this all the way across until we have 3 stitches left until the marker. So I have 1, 2, 3 double crochets and then the marker. So now I need to do the next portion of what it says in the pattern. It says that we need to chain 1, which I've already done, and then single crochet 2 together. So there's the first half of the single crochet 2 together, the second half, and then finish that single crochet 2 together off. That completes row 1. Row 2, we chain 3. The chain 3 counts as a stitch, and so we skip that first single crochet 2 together, and then working into this stitch right here, we do 2 double crochets. And then 2 double crochets into the next one. So this is the same pattern that we've been working for this entire pattern. There's no difference for this row. Let me just show you how to do the other side next shaping, because now that we know how to do this side, let me just show you how to start on this side. It's not tricky, but let's just go over it together. So with wrong side facing, so the double crochets don't look as pretty. And if you're a right-handed crocheter, that also means wrong side, your beginning tail is on the right. If you're having trouble remembering right or wrong side, you can always just get a stitch marker and place it somewhere and know that, oh, this pink stitch marker means I'm looking at the wrong side. Okay, so it says with wrong side facing, slip stitch in marked space, second marked space. So this one over here that we haven't worked yet, and then chain 1. And now we need to do decreases on this side to get our neck shaping this way. This one, we did it at the end of the row. This one, it needs to be at the beginning. And then it says go back into that same space and then do your first single crochet 2 together, chain 1, going into that next space, do one single crochet and then the same pattern, just going all the way across. And then one thing to note is that this single crochet 2 together right here, when you're coming back for row 2, you're just going to place one double crochet into the top of the single crochet 2 together. We always end the rows with one double crochet. So that's what we will do for row 2 of this section as well. So I'm going to continue doing both of these off camera, and then let's meet back up for this seaming section. I finished the front panel shoulders. This is my right side, and so now I need to do the seaming of my shoulders, and so I need the wrong sides to be facing out. So this is my back panel right side, and then my front panel, and I'm looking at the wrong side. So the right sides are facing inward, and then you just line up the shoulders along here and here. I have these little clip things that I like to use, but you don't have to use them. I find that especially helpful for the sides. For the shoulders, it's pretty easy not to have a clip to make sure that it's lining up, but for the sides, I feel like I often use them more for the sides of garments than a small seam like at the top. Okay, and then you cut a strand of yarn or use the 4 times tail to seam this. I like to do whip stitch when I seam, which is just you go in from one side and through the other fabric, and then you do it again. So go through both fabrics and pull it through. Next stitch, again, both pull it through. So I'm going to do the rest off camera. I'm going to do both shoulders just how I'm showing you. And then for the sides of the garment, it will tell you in the pattern how many inches you need to leave unworked for your arms. So for my size, I will leave 8 inches unworked. So I'm going to measure out 8 inches right here, mark it, and then seam from here to here and do it on the other side as well. So I'm going to do that off camera. Let's meet back up for the collar. I finished seaming the shoulders, so now let's do the collar together. To begin, I need to join in the back of the neck. So I'm going to join right here. It doesn't really matter where, but these 4 stitch markers, when you get to them, you're going to work a single crochet 2 together. And so I'm just going to do it right here so that I can get that single crochet 2 together right there. So I'm going to slip stitch to join here, chain 1, single crochet back into that same stitch, and then I'm just going to single crochet around. 1 in each of these double crochets along the back neck. I've reached my stitch marker right here, and so I'm just going to do a single crochet 2 together for these 2 stitches. It doesn't really matter if you do it to the right or the left of the stitch marker. We're just trying to get the curve of the collar. Now I've reached the section where I need to work in the row ends. So when you get to the row ends, do 1 single crochet in the single crochet rows and 2 single crochets in the double crochet row ends. So you can see what that looks like right here. And so I'm going to do this all the way around, making sure that I do my 3 remaining single crochet 2 togethers. And then when I get to my starting chain here, I'm just going to slip stitch to join and then do another round like we've done for this round. So I'm going to do the remaining off camera, and then let's meet back up for the sleeves. I've done 1 sleeve already. You can see it's just 2 rows of single crochet. So let's work on this second sleeve together. So with the right side facing, you'll slip stitch to join in the underarm and then chain 1, going back into that same stitch you joined in, single crochet. And then you're just going to single crochet around. And I like to do 2 single crochets in the double crochet row ends and then 1 single crochet in the single crochet row ends. I feel like that does a good job of making sure it doesn't pucker, but it gives it enough stability for the sleeve. So here is a single crochet row end. So there's 1. This is my double crochet row end. So I do 2 in that. 1 and 2. And then back to 1. So I'm going to do that all the way around. And then when I get back to here, I'm just going to slip stitch to join, chain 1, and then do it again. Slip stitch to join, and that is how you do the sleeve. And that is how you do the easy Airy Tee. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope you enjoyed it. Hey friends, thanks for joining me on today's video. I have this video right here that I think you'll really enjoy, so go check it out and be sure to subscribe for more crochet and knit tutorials. My name is Rachel from Cozy Nooks Designs, and happy making!